Rico. Suave.
Shea Stadium in Flushing, New York. Today, the Mets host the Philadelphia Phillies. Mets Baseball 95 is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. By Bell Atlantic, the Yellow Pages 9 out of 10 people use. The genuine Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages. By FedEx, for documents, packages, and freight worldwide, our most important package is yours. And by the new Sunoco MasterCard that can earn you free Sunoco gasoline. Starting pitchers in today's game, Mike Williams, who is 2-2 on the season, makes the start for the Phillies. For the Mets, looking for his second win of the season, right-hander Reid Cornelius.
It has been raining all morning here in Queens and Flushing, and the ball field actually looks pretty good. As a matter of fact, Pete Flynn, the groundskeeper, says that we will have a window from about 1 to 4, and this game should start on time. So I guess the appropriate sponsor for today's game should be Windows 95. I'm Tim McCarver along with Gary Thorne. And Gary, don't look now, but the New York Mets are 4.5 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Phillies in second place.
Timmy, they really are rolling. They are 9 games above 500 since the All-Star break. We talked about getting by the Marlins. Well, they've done that. You take a look at the Expos. They got a chance at them and even a chance at the Phillies.
And with our anthem starting, we'll be back for the start of today's game. Jay Payton will visit with Ralph Kiner right after this from Budweiser.
Welcome back to Shea Stadium, and I have Jay Payton, one of the bright young stars for the Mets in their minor league organization, a recipient of the Doubleday Award here today for being an outstanding prospect while playing for Binghamton in the Eastern League in Double-A baseball. Jay, welcome to New York, and congratulations.
Thanks a lot. It's good to be here.
Jay, a lot of talk about you, in a way, resemblance to Kirby Puckett. I know that Mookie Wilson talked about you as an outstanding center fielder and hitter, and you're a little bit thinner than Kirby Puckett.
Yeah, a little bit. That's a great comparison. You know, it's great to be compared to somebody like him. Hopefully, I can only come in and do the things the Mets expect me to do.
Well, the pressure's on, certainly, and of course, in New York, you do have that pressure. Here you are at the plate playing at Tidewater.
Yeah, this is a great city. I love being here. It's my first time to Shea Stadium, and you know, the people have been great to me. It's nice to go out and be recognized, even though I haven't even been here yet.
You certainly are talked about, and of course, the Mets are looking forward to next year in spring training, and also for your future here with the New York Mets. It's an open field for you, and I hope everything works out as well as you would hope, and as well as the Mets hope.
That's good. That's the thing about the Mets. They got such a young team now going into spring training next year. The jobs are pretty much going to be wide open if guys come in and show they're ready to play. Hopefully the Mets will give them a chance to do something.
Well, they're going to give you a chance. There's no doubt about that.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Jay Payton, and we'll be back with the ball game right after this message from Roy Rogers.
Reid Cornelius is 1-6 on the year. His only win coming against the Philadelphia Phillies at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia back on August the 8th. So Reid Cornelius on the mound for the Mets.
Philadelphia Phillies will be using the lineup that they had in Game 1 of this 3-game series. Jim Fregosi has Mickey Morandini leading it off at second base. Andy Van Slyke batting second in center field. Greg Jeffries, first base, batting third. Mark Whiten, the right fielder, in the cleanup spot. Charlie Hayes, fifth at third base. Jim Eisenreich back in left field will bat sixth today. Mike Lieberthal goes back behind the plate. Kevin Stalker, the shortstop, will bat eighth. And Mike Williams, a 27-year-old, will be on the mound batting ninth.
Take a look at the defense for the Mets in this ball game. Damon Buford in left field, Ryan Thompson in center, Carl Everett the right fielder, Tim Bogar once again at third base with Bruce Husky on the shelf, Jose Vizcaino at short, Jeff Kent at second base, Rico Brogna, terrific day yesterday with 3 hits, a single, double, and home run, and Todd Hundley behind the plate as we quickly look at the umpires for today's game, and Mickey Morandini takes a fastball inside. Those umpires once again, Steve Ripley, Jim Quick, Bob Davidson at second, and Larry Poncino at third. Ground ball hard to Kent, and he makes the play. 1 out here in the first inning, just underway. And when we got up this morning about 8:30,
speak for yourself.
Yeah, well, or so. We had to give it, or so. I mean, you know, I didn't think there was any chance to play this ball game. Rain forecast throughout the afternoon.
Well, they had the right weather forecast right from this morning. Bob Mantz, Stadium Director of Operations, said they had a window at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
And sure enough, about 1 o'clock, it stopped raining.
And the field in relatively good condition as Andy Van Slyke takes strike 1. Andy coming over from the Baltimore Orioles a month and a half ago for pitcher Greg Harris. It's 1-1 to Andy Van Slyke. Good fastball there. 1-2 now to the former Pirate.
Mets trying to win their 5th in a row today. They've gained a couple of games now in this series on Florida because Florida's lost a chance to move up on Montreal Expos. They're doing some of the things people were just smiling about a week ago. Suddenly are very much within reach.
Breaking ball, strike 3. First strikeout for Cornelius. I know it's only 2 hitters, but Reid has shown his best stuff to date.
He will move the ball around. That fastball, curve, change up, 3 primary pitches that he'll use. And when he has the breaking ball going, he can tie hitters up. And he will use that right here. That had great movement on it in the inside corner.
I think that's the best breaking ball I've seen him throw since he came up in early August. Greg Jeffries the batter. High, ball 1. And speaking of the second half of the season, Jeffries has been sizzling. 347 since the All-Star break. Fly ball right field. Everett a step back and now in, and it's Jeff Kent who makes the play coming from nowhere. Fine play by Kent. The Phillies fail to score. Gary and I will be right back after this from American Express. Mike Williams with his 5th start of the year, his first start against the Mets, 2-2 on the season.
And our Mets lineup brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer. Quick look at him here as Damon Buford's about ready to go at the plate. Damon Buford will be leading it off in left field. Jose Vizcaino batting second at shortstop, followed by Carl Everett in right field. Jeff Kent, the cleanup hole, will be playing at second base. Rico Brogna, red hot. First base will bat 5th. Todd Hundley will be doing the catching. He'll be batting 6th.
Strike 1 to Buford.
Ryan Thompson in center field will follow Hundley, bat in the 7th spot. Tim Bogar again at third base batting 8th, and Cornelius the pitcher 9th.
Mets have won 2 in a row against the Phillies. And the second pitch, a strike on the outside corner, 0-2 to Damon Buford. Slider. Did he go too far? No, says first base umpire Jim Quick. Mets have already won this series, of course. This is the 3rd game before the Mets go to Atlanta. Fastball inside, 2-2 to Damon Buford. Matter of fact, this is the first series that the Mets have won against the Phillies at Shea Stadium since July of '91. Slider misses, so after being in the hole 0-2, it's now a full count to Damon Buford.
Walks were a disaster in the ball game yesterday for this Philadelphia pitching staff. I mean, 10 free passes and 6 scored.
Line drive, left field. Eisenreich over to make the catch. 1 out. Eisenreich has gone 107 games without an error. He'll be flanked by Van Slyke and Mark Whitten with that strong throwing arm. Charlie Hayes, Kevin Stocker, Mickey Morandini, Greg Jeffries, Mike Lieberthal behind the plate. And Jose Vizcaino coming up. Outside, ball 1. I guess, Gary, if Bobby Bonilla had been here all year, he would have been the Mets' most valuable player. But nobody's been more valuable on the present roster than Vizcaino. 1-1 to Jose.
You'll get no argument from anybody down on the field on that either, Timmy. Not the players, not the coaching staff, and I don't think the front office either. Even Joe McElvain, the GM, was saying yesterday that if I had to vote for an MVP on this ball club this year, there he is.
Key hits, super defense at shortstop. He's jammed, lifts one to left field, and sloshing forward to make the play is Jim Eisenreich. Let's take a look at just where the Mets are, and this is remarkable for this team to have come this far.
And take a look now. It's not just staying ahead of the Marlins now. One game behind the Montreal Expos, who are playing this afternoon at home against Houston. They've lost a couple in a row, and a shot at catching the Phillies. I mean, Bill Pulsiver was talking about doing that Friday night, and he wasn't laughing. The rest of the press kind of was, but they aren't anymore.
Carl Everett, the batter, to give you an idea about not how easy, obviously that's a lot of room to make up over the last 2 weeks of the season, but they've made up 4.5 games over the last 5 days. The Phillies have lost 5 in a row. The Mets have won 4 in a row. It's a 4.5 game swing. 1-1 to Everett. Lined off the glove of Williams. That ball scorched. But Everett will be credited with a time at bat. No score after 1. We're back after this from Federal Express. No score, top of the second inning. The Mets trying for a sweep against the Phillies. And in today's New York Times Magazine, as we take a look at Mike Williams, page 28 on language, usually a column done by William Safire, done today by Jeffrey McQuain. His opening sentence was, "When two Englishmen meet," in quotes, Samuel Johnson observed in 1758, "their first talk is of the weather." And here it is 2 centuries later, and nothing's changed. As Mark Whiten takes a strike from Cornelius, 0-1.
Wonderful part of the human condition, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
it really
you can
is.
always talk about the weather and nobody's surprised or offended by it.
Curveball on the corner to Whiten. 0-2 to Mark. By the way, Samuel Johnson, no relation to Walter Johnson. Fastball is high, and the person about which he did the biography, Boswell, is not Kenny Boswell, the second baseman of the Mets. No.
None of those people are related.
No. Inside to Whiten, 2-2 to Mark.
How about the fact there are 4 Don Florences in the ballpark today?
Oh,
4. One of them's a pitcher for the Mets.
wow. And the other 3?
Aren't related. Grandfather, son, grandchild, all named Don Florence, all from Massachusetts.
How about that?
They wrote to the Mets
Come on.
and said, "We're trying to find out if we're related to your Don Florence." And they talked with him, met with him, found out they weren't, and then came in today, and Jay Horowitz got to introduce everybody to each other.
That's an easy
He said it was
introduction.
wonderful. I just,
All
Don
you have
Florence,
to
this is Don
remember are 2
Florence.
names. Don Florence, this is Don Florence. Don Florence, Don Florence. Don, this is Don
Don.
Florence.
4
Mr.
of them.
Florence, this is Don. 1 ball, no strikes to Charlie Hayes when Whiten went down on strikes. 1-1 to Charlie. Oh, that's great.
And even they were talking about the weather.
I'm sure of that.
Period. End of story.
Oh, that's great. Fastball to Hayes, catches the corner, and Cornelius looks sharp. A ball and 2 strikes to Charlie Hayes. Fly ball, right field. Carl Everett is over. There are 2 outs here in the second inning. The outfielders sloshing around today.
Inning 6, number 8, left fielder,
And Jim Eisenreich, the left fielder, is the batter. Inside, ball 1. In that article in the Times magazine this morning, talking about new weather blends that include frizzle for frozen drizzle, snizzle for snowy drizzle. These are actually weather guys' terms. My favorite is from slush and cement comes slument. So in about 2 months, when you have slument in your driveway, think of this conversation. 2 balls and a strike.
Gary, part is I will. The eternal optimist.
Jim Quick, the first base umpire, with his glasses on the bill of his cap. And Jim Eisenreich becomes the first base runner of this ball game with a walk by Cornelius. That'll bring up Mike Leberthal, the catcher. Larry Poncino down at third base, donning the glasses.
Nothing like late night New York.
Fastball to Leberthal as a strike. You're saying that he may not need those glasses, right?
I don't know that. I have no way.
Suggesting perhaps?
Just a rare probability.
0-1 to Leberthal, who had his first major league start 2 weeks ago on August 31st at Candlestick Park, or at, unfortunately, they're calling it 3Com Park now. You had the scoop on that, by the way. Curveball is low. 1-1 to Leberthal.
And I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I had that scoop.
Man.
3Com Park. Is there anything more nondescript, boring
No.
than that?
No. Tap toward first. Brogna makes the play. And the Phillies don't score. Still no score after 1.5. We're back after this from Nobody Beats the Wiz.
Decided this is Guido Sarducci on his day off. The nose and glasses come off, but the hat's permanent.
Actually, Father Guido is now Monsignor. I saw him on...
Monsignor?
Yeah, it's Monsignor Guido Sarducci.
Pardon me.
Been around for a long time. Jeff Kent leads it off for the Mets here in the second inning. Jeff has upped his average to .269, and he takes a strike from Mike Williams. Tim McCarver, Gary Thorne, and Ralph Kiner comes in the fourth inning. Cloudy, overcast, cool day here at Shea, but a playable field. Mets trying for the sweep, and Kent lifts it to shallow center. Van Slyke slips. Morandini back, and Whiten comes in to make the play. Boy, Andy Van Slyke digging up some turf in center field.
Andy's still trying to figure out what happened. He was really trying to dig out, and he probably got about 3 yards. But a massive effort. Look at the turf that he dug up out there in center field. He had a legitimate shot at getting in on this. Fortunately for the Phillies, look at him. And just finally decided, I think that's far enough.
And that's really what the umpires try to do, Gary. Try to check the field and make sure that the damage to the players or injury possibilities are remote. But the outfield is very, very wet. The infield, of course, was covered throughout the evening and up until about 1 o'clock. 0-1 to Rico Brogna, the hottest Mets hitter. Outside, ball 1, 1-1 to Rico.
He has clubbed a couple of balls in this series. Real shots to dead center field for home runs against the Phillies.
Also had a home run the last game against the Houston Astros to give the Mets the win 4-2 on Thursday night. 2 balls and a strike to Rico Brogna. Ball 3, 3-1. Rico with 3 home runs in his last 5 games. Lines it to right field. So Brogna's on again. The first Mets base runner of the ball game.
That's a 5-game hit streak now for a 6-game hit streak, rather, for Brogna, who's had 5 hits in his last 9 at-bats. 5 for 9 in this series. This one he's got to go up a little to get. He does. He's just right on the money. I mean, he's got that swing now so that virtually every ball Brogna's hitting is on the sweet spot.
Locked in, and when you're seeing the ball like Rico is right now, you just can't wait to get to the ballpark. And it doesn't matter who's pitching either. The ball just is magnified about 6-fold as Todd Hundley, who has been going through a similar streak, average up over 300 now, takes a strike. Almost see the confidence in his stance, can't you? Slider misses, 1-1.
That's a good point, Timmy. You watch him at the plate, and you can almost hear him saying, "Go ahead, put one by me."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Challenge me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you throw, I'm going to have a good hack at it. Put the good part of the bat on the ball. Outside, ball 2, 2-1 to Todd Hundley. No score here in the second.
Todd had his hit streak ended yesterday. He had hit successfully in the last 6 games. Now has gone 3 for 6 in this series. Look at the difference there. You talk about a blossoming season for a player.
Just outside, 3 balls and a strike now to Hundley. Ball 4. So Hundley draws a base on balls. Brogna moves to second, and that'll bring up Ryan Thompson. As Jim Fregosi asked us, by the way, well, he didn't ask us, but he told us that his wife Joni would be watching the game today from Tarpon Springs, Florida. She was disappointed that the game wasn't on WWOR Friday night, tuning in, expecting to see it. And she got normal programming on WWOR, a movie, I believe. Jimmy, a proud papa, his newest child, 4 weeks old. To his left, Johnny Padres, who had the best changeup that I ever saw. And Ryan Thompson takes a fastball high, ball 1 to Thompson.
And guaranteed another year. The job he's done with a team decimated by injuries. People who didn't perform well and got moved, like Dave Hollins, still been able to keep this team in a race for a wild card spot.
Slider, swing and a miss, 1-1 to Thompson. Actually, the Philadelphia Phillies, the defending National League champions.
Kind of forget that, don't you?
Yeah. Winning the National League pennant and being beaten in 6 games by Toronto in 1993. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. Brogna will try to score and will. 1-0 New York as Thompson comes through.
Well, Thompson deserved this one. This had to be in the books. He was 0 for 8 in this series. Had a 3-run homer taken away from him by Mark Whiten the other night when he pulled one back. So he gets one here that's a 3 or 4 hopper up the middle out of the reach of Stalker. And he'll pick up an RBI for it.
If Ryan Thompson could show more consistency in that type of hitting, and he would be the Mets center fielder for the next 5 to 8 years. Look how tough this pitch is. Thompson tries to do, doesn't try to do too much with it, but hits it hard up the middle, and it finds a hole. Here's Tim Bogar, the third baseman. Strike on the corner.
Well, Ryan certainly knows where they're going to pitch to him. I mean, the whole world knows it's going to be down and away and probably out of the strike zone most of the time. So
if they get ahead, yeah.
If they get ahead on the count, which they've been doing because he's been swinging at that first pitch that's out of the strike zone.
Line drive, right field. Hundley off of second base and just back. Any base runner Their antenna goes up when a ball's hit to right field with that guy, the way he can throw.
Got a couple of them in this game. Two of the best right field arms in baseball. Carl Everett for the Mets has got one, and so does Mark Whiten. They are among the leaders in assists in the outfield and putouts on plays like this, and both of them will look to throw to first base on hard hit balls to right that are singles. They'll both come up with the ball and see whether or not they got to throw it first. That's how strong they are.
Pitcher Reid Cornelius is the batter, and he takes a fastball strike. Of course, you keep in mind Larry Walker of the Colorado Rockies, another fine throwing right fielder. Raul Mondesi of the Dodgers, terrific arm. Glenn Allen Hill for the Giants, not too shabby. And Tony Gwynn has made himself one of the better right fielders in the game. Just some sheer
really
hard work.
Really good right fielders.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the American League because we don't see them enough, but boy, in the National League, you've got some people who are very smart as well as strong out there.
David Justice with the Braves. A strong arm, not as accurate as the others that we've mentioned. Sammy Sosa for the Chicago Cubs.
He was a center fielder originally and has had to make himself into a right fielder.
0-2 with 2 on. 1-0 Mets. Mets with a run in here in the second inning. Hit hard to shortstop. Stocker elects to go to first base to get Cornelius. But the Mets take the lead 1-0. We go to the third after this from Budweiser. Well, we've had Sid Fernandez with a corner of his own. You remember Doc Gooden, he had the K corner. Now Carl Everett has a corner. It's not a K corner. Here's Carl. He's got to be happy with that. Think about how far Carl Everett has come. He had the altercation with David Segui in the outfield, the screaming match, his first day in spring training. And now endearing himself to the fans here at Shea Stadium with his performance this year.
Timmy, that's a very good indication of just what's happening in the New York Mets organization. If we had said, even at the All-Star break, there would be a banner in right field for Carl Everett.
You'd have laughed.
You'd have laughed.
Yeah, you would have.
You'd have laughed.
Yep.
There's one out there.
Playing conditions on the field are good. However, the track surrounding the field looking more like Redondo Beach than Shea Stadium.
At high tide.
Syrupy in the outfield. As Kevin Stocker lines one to left field. Damon Buford in. Now he backpedals to make the catch. One out here in the third. 1-0 New York.
Batting ninth, number 41, pitcher Mike Williams.
Reid Cornelius, 25 years old, from Thomasville, Alabama, makes his home in West Palm Beach, signing with the Montreal Expos back in 1988, an 11th round pick. And we mentioned David Segui, and that was the trade made on June 2nd. Segui for Cornelius. 1-1 to the pitcher, Mike Williams.
Both these pitchers up and down this season between AAA and the Major League Ball Club. This is the third time for Mike Williams to be up with the Phillies. He was there at the beginning of the season, went down, came back up, and then back up again in August. That's why he's making only his 6th Major League start.
Strike to Mike. 2-2 to Williams. Yeah, the Phillies have had those pitchers shuttle back and forth from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, their AAA team, just like the Mets have from Norfolk all year. Isringhausen, Pulsifer, Cornelius, not only the pitchers, but Husky.
Phillies have used a record for them of 26 different pitchers this season.
My gosh. That ball riding in on Williams, fortunately, put the bat in the way, and it's still 2-2.
Speaking of that, Sid Fernandez going to make a start. He'll be back in the rotation tomorrow night when Philadelphia goes home.
Play Florida 4 games. Matter of fact, the Phillies are at home, a 10-game homestand, and they end the season in Florida with the 3-game set, while the Mets end the season against the Atlanta Braves the last weekend of the season. Left field again, Buford, 2 outs.
Alex Ochoa, who has been called up for all of this series, wasn't available Friday, took first batting practice yesterday, and Ochoa is available now to play if he gets an opportunity to come in. Even more important for people like Alex Ochoa, Jay Payton, is the chance just to be around, just to get a flavor, a sense, meet some people, see what it looks like and feels like.
Line drive by Mickey Morandini into left center. Nice play by Buford to cut it off. Morandini will try for 2 and make it. Good play by Buford just to get to it. But then in that quagmire in the outfield, trying to gain his footing for a strong throw, almost impossible. And Morandini has a relatively easy double.
It's going to be his 32nd double of the season. This guy has had a spectacular year for Philadelphia. Morandini, day in, day out, providing a real good job in the leadoff spot. He's their best clutch hitter with runners in scoring position, leads them in doubles. I mean, he's really been there every day for Jim Fregosi.
Mickey, an all-star this year, and the curveball to Andy Van Slyke. Andy thought it was inside, but Steve Ripley says strike 1, 0-1 to Van Slyke. Curve is low, ball 1, 1-1 to Andy Van Slyke. 1-0 Mets here in the third. Inside corner. Ball and 2 strikes to Van Slyke. That's where pitchers try to pitch, Andy. Under the armpits. Big difference in down and in and up and in. You jam guys right at the belt inside. You drop that ball down about 1.5 feet, and all they have to do is drop the bat head on it, especially good low ball left-handed hitters. Good breaking ball from Cornelius. Still 1-2 to Andy Van Slyke. There's Joe Orsulak. Joe with his business partner on his lap.
Keeping that bat warm just in case.
Pretty prolific business he's had too. Another breaking ball is down and in. Nice play, Todd Hundley. 2-2 to Van Slyke.
Mets pitchers have done a real good job against Andy Van Slyke. He struck out twice yesterday. Struck out his first time up in this ball game. Now, this is a guy, he's one of the toughest guys to get out, either swinging or especially looking at a called third strike. He's just a good contact hitter who's had only 30 Ks this year and 27 walks.
Always a tough out for New York. Inside corner, see you later. Andy Van Slyke, I can't remember the last time he was called out on strikes twice in a row. 1-0 New York. Bottom of the third coming up after this from Roy Rogers.
A reminder that Fan Appreciation Day is coming up on Saturday, September 30th. Tickets will be drawn throughout the 1:40 Mets Braves game. Airline tickets, gift certificates, lots of great prizes for you, the fans. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX during business hours or stop by the Mets clubhouse shops. A per-ticket surcharge applies.
Andy Van Slyke, similar strikeouts. That's the first time up. Inside corner with the breaking ball. And watch the armpits. See, when a left-handed hitter raises those armpits and the ball's in the strike zone, a pitcher knows he's got him. Damon Buford takes the strike.
And he wasn't happy with either of those calls, but those were strikes.
Those pitchers were on the plate. 1-1 to Buford. 1-0 New York here in the third. 2 balls, 1 strike to Buford. Here it is again. You see, when a pitcher throws that fastball tailing back over the inside corner and a left-handed hitter raises those pitches, that means he can't see the ball and has given up on the ball. And that late little tail on it that Cornelius featured. By the way, that is strikeout number 3 for Reid in 3 innings. 2-2 to Buford. Slider gets him. First strikeout for Williams. 1 out here in the 3rd, and Jose Vizcaino coming up.
Shortstop Jose Vizcaino.
Well, Johnny Padres second there on the right to Jim Fregosi. Well, yesterday was just tearing his hair out with his pitchers. Everybody they brought in was walking somebody. At least he's got Williams started in this game throwing some strikes and getting ahead of hitters.
Jose Vizcaino, the batter. And a bunt attempt is foul. 0-1 to Jose. Johnny Padres today in the Phillies clubhouse bemoaning the fact that guys just don't throw the fastball anymore. Said that the pitch of the 90s, that split finger fastball, has encouraged young pitchers to come up trying to trick hitters rather than trying to throw the fastball. And he's really got a good point, because a lot of the pitchers that you see coming to the big leagues now don't come up throwing the good juice.
Afraid to throw strikes.
Yeah, nibbling here, nibbling there, giving big league hitters too much credit. Falling behind in the count. 0-2 as Vizcaino's behind in the count.
It's ironic that that's one of the most difficult things pitching coaches have to do with major league pitchers, is to convince them that it's okay to throw strikes.
And throw the fastball.
Throw the fastball.
Throw the fastball.
Go after
Still
him.
the best pitch in the game.
Yeah. The old Chuck Tanner story I've mentioned before to me. I never forgot, because Chuck told me one day around a batting cage when he was in Atlanta, when he couldn't get pitches to throw and they weren't doing it, he took them out, made them watch batting practice, said, watch how many hits there are in batting practice when guys are just throwing it in there. Says that's all you got to do. If you do that, you're going to come up on top of it. Probably 8 or 9 times out of 10 you'll get an out, and at least you're making guys hit the ball. And that's what he'd do with pitchers who were just refusing to throw strikes.
Use the 7 guys behind you.
Yeah.
They make a pretty good living sucking up your mistakes.
And are happy to do it.
Or sucking up your good pitches. Yeah, they're happy to do it. 2-2 to Vizcaino. Jose fouling that ball back. Had he not swung at it, it may have been on the plate. That ball was about 6 inches off the plate. Still 2-2 to Jose. 2 hits for the Mets, 1 for the Phillies, 1-0 New York here in the 3rd. Hard up the middle, base hit, Vizcaino. Big turn at first. Another thing you love to see base runners do. Ground ball, base hit to center or left. Make your big turn. How many center fielders or left fielders throw behind the runner?
Especially in field conditions like they are today, Timmy. That ball has got a chance on skirting by some outfielders. You see how he has sprayed the ball around. One of the reasons he's had that average up around 290 all season long.
Big wide turn at first. Carl Everett, the batter, he grounded back to Williams in the 1st inning, but he hit a shot that Williams knocked down and threw him out. Breaking ball, going to second base is Vizcaino. It'll be a wild pitch, but how many base runners, not trying to make too much of it, but how many base runners would have tried to go on a ball like that? He went immediately.
That's the only way you can do it. You must go immediately.
That's
if
right.
you hesitate on that and don't take that first step when you see the ball get away from the catcher, right here you got to go. If he waits to see the catcher's reaction, it'll be too late.
One and nothing to Carl Everett. 1-1 to Carl. Matter of fact, a lot of base runners don't realize how difficult it is to smother a ball as a catcher, ball in the dirt, and keep it within an area where if the runner does run, you could still throw him out. Lot to do. Ball and 2 strikes. Andy Van Slyke was a member of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jim Riggleman told me this story where George Kissel, who was the mentor in the Cardinal organization, still is, has trained a lot of future major league players. He would get all the fast guys in camp, make them put the catcher's equipment on, throw balls in the dirt, and let them see how tough it was to recover and throw out the base runner in case you're on base. Now you know the thought processes of the catcher and what he has to do to throw you out.
And tell me, am I wrong to say the catcher's first look is usually at the base runner, not the ball? To see whether the runner's going.
It can be, yeah. And if you look up, then you can't find the ball.
And if you look up and see the runner going on that first step, then you hurry everything.
Yeah,
and the chance of picking it up cleanly, getting yourself set for a throw is lessened.
Exactly right. 2-2 to Everett. 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 New York. Inside, 3-2 to Carl. Ball 4. So Everett walks. What could have messed up Williams' routine there was Kevin Stocker went behind Vizcaino, and now Stocker wants to talk to Williams about that. Sometimes you become too concerned with that runner on at second base. You have to wait too long on the mound to give the shortstop a chance to get back into his position, and that breaks up your rhythm. Ball 4 to Everett.
That happened yesterday with a team with Kevin Elster at shortstop, where he got caught on the bag while the ball was being delivered to the plate. They didn't have the signs down, apparently, on whether they were going to make a throw or not.
A lot of middle infielders burned that way, burned by their pitcher, throwing prematurely to home. Here's Jeff Kent, who flied to right his first at bat.
Watch Stocker jockeying. See, he goes back to the bag. Now the pitcher's got to wait for him to get back to his position. And all this time, the pitcher's in the set position, holding the ball, waiting.
Appropriately, a pitcher should step off in that situation, regroup, and then throw his pitch. High to Kent, ball 1. Tapped foul, 1-1 to Jeff. Keep in mind that Jeff Kent 2 years ago was second in the National League to David Justice of the Braves with a 385 average in those situations. Runners in scoring position. Inside, ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to Jeff Kent. Bobby Wine, 57 years old today.
Happy birthday.
2 birthdays on Mets in uniform. Johnny Franco, 35. Bobby Wine, 57. And Kent fouls it back. And since there's a break in the action, ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light. It's a big hit with fans everywhere because it won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light.
Yesterday, Jay Horowitz up on the board had the announcement made that today Bobby Wine and John Franco would celebrate their birthdays, and the question of the day was, who's older?
High to Kent. Full count to Kent. You send the runners here. Vizcaino on at second. Everett on at first base. Let's see what Dallas Green does. I'd send them 1-0. Force a mistake in the infield. Morandini really on the bag at second base, and that's why Williams stepped off. Runner's not running, and did Kent go for it? No, says first base umpire Jim Quick. Boy, that was close. Loads him up for the Mets with one out.
Boy, oh boy, watch the check swing here. That was close.
That was
real close.
ooh.
That was an ooh. Jeff Kent wisely just dropped the bat and headed down to first base, just trying to help out Jim Quick at first, to know he didn't intend to go after that ball.
Well, Jim Fregosi does not like this situation, but Dallas Green does. Rico Brogna, his hottest hitter, the batter, with the bases loaded and one out. The Mets on top 1-0. We're in the third inning. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1 to Rico Brogna, who singled and scored the only run of the game in the second inning.
Philadelphia, 13th in the league in their pitching staff giving up walks.
Brogna in the hole now, 0-2 to Rico.
Driving the ball. I thought Rico had a great comment yesterday about the home runs that he's hit. Those line drives, what it felt like. I said, do they feel as good as they look? He says it's like a knife going through butter.
Oh, ooh, what a great description. Oh, that's wonderful. Foul tip. Brogna just stays alive. Still 0-2. Yeah, sometimes the sweetest sounds to a hitter are the sounds that don't make a lot of noise. It's that sweet click off the sweet spot. When you're jammed, you hit the ball in the handle, there's a loud reverberation type of sound. High, ball one. A ball and 2 strikes to Brogna. Vizcaino on at third base. Carl Everett on at second. And Jeff Kent, the runner, at first. 1 out. We're in the third. Just inside. 2-2 to Brogna.
Rico's also moved back into first place among the first basemen in fielding percentage again this season. He and Mark Grace battling for a Gold Glove, I suspect, in a couple of years.
Breaking ball hit to right center. This could do it. Grand slam home run, Rico Brogna. 5-0 New York. About knife through butter, but that was more like a miracle whip.
Soft butter, wasn't it?
Like mayo.
First ever grand slam. He is so hot you can't touch him. 6 hits in his last 10 at-bats, right in the sweet spot for him. Outside part of the plate, down, got it, drove it.
Todd Hundley takes a strike. Base hit by Vizcaino, 2 walks, and then the thunder. Like a knife through butter again. What a great line. 1-1 through Todd Hundley. Ball and 2 strikes to Todd. Todd walked his first at bat. Jim Fregosi has just seen a total collapse of his pitching staff this year. Inside and low, 2-2 now to Hundley. Just their best pitcher, especially in the second half, Sid Fernandez.
Yeah, he is. He was a savior for them and then had to come out of the rotation for a couple of starts.
Cute foul, still 2-2 to Hundley. Grand slam home run by Rico Brogna has made it 5-0 New York here in the third.
10 walks yesterday, 6 score, 3 walks today. 2 of those have already scored.
And the other walk led to Brogna scoring because Hundley walked after a 1-out single in the second inning. But if they don't score directly, they lead to others scoring. And it's a full count to Todd Hundley. Still 3-2. Popped up. Lieberthal off with the mask, and it's too far away. Up in Montreal, Houston and the Expos tied at 1. Mets very interested in that game. They entered the game 1 game behind Montreal and 4.5 behind the Phillies. A game and a half in front of the Florida Marlins. They lead in this game 5-0. A grand slam homer by Rico Brogna, his 4th home run in the last 6 games. Still 3-2 to Hundley. Ground ball toward first. It's foul. So Hundley battling Williams. Williams battling Hundley. Todd with 15 home runs on the year, and he only has 225 plate appearances. And he got him. So the fastball gets Hundley. Strikeout number 2 for Williams, and Ryan Thompson coming up. Ryan with an RBI single his last at bat.
Ryan Thompson.
Outside to Thompson. Mike Williams, the starter today. You may remember another Williams 2 years ago, Mitch Williams, who threw the decisive home run ball to Joe Carter to end the 1993 World Series. Only the second time in Major League history where a World Series was ended by a home run. And Mike Williams with 43 pitches this inning alone. Aired to right field. Whiten not giving chase, and this ball falls. What was Mark Whiten thinking about? Thompson goes to second base, a stand-up double, and Whiten just won. He took about 3 steps and stopped. What's going on?
I don't know if he's afraid of pulling a muscle out there on that very wet field or not, but you see, it didn't look like he slipped the way Andy Van Slyke did, pulling up turf behind him. He never got going. He's not even in the picture. Never got there. See him out there in right field? Loping his way over.
Well, you know, Mark Whiten in a game in Philadelphia this year didn't run a ball out, and he was booed roundly and soundly by the Philadelphia fans. But now, in fairness, Mark had a hamstring pull for the Boston Red Sox back in early June, but has shown no signs that hamstring is bothering him. And that's why we questioned his lack of effort going after that fly ball by Ryan Thompson. 0-2 to Tim Bogart.
It looked like he didn't see it almost. I mean, he took 2 steps and stopped, and then as it came down, kind of jogged a little bit. Was so far away, he had no play on the ball.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Bogart. Two outs. Ryan Thompson on at second base. Ryan's second hit of the ball game. The Mets with 5 hits. The big blow, a grand slam home run by Rico Brogna to make it 5-0. Right below us. Well, that's 2 that have been right below us.
And you've moved well on both.
I have.
You have.
You're going to get a stir from me.
That's impressed me all year.
The ball comes up here. I'll guarantee it has impressed you.
It has.
I can be very quick for my age. When that little white rat tries to come up here and bite me again, I've already given. I've told you that a number of times. Cap toward third. Tough play, Hayes. Oh, boy, that was a beauty right there to end the 3rd inning. But the Mets score 4 times and lead it 5-0. We're back at this from Coca-Cola. Nothing Mets here in the 4th inning. Ralph Kiner. At a home run by Brogna had to feel sweet, didn't it?
Wasn't that a nice sight to see?
Man.
I mean, there's nothing better as a hitter than to hit a grand slam home run. And we have one person sitting right here in the broadcast booth that on July 4th hit a grand slam home run, was turned into a single. And
I don't
not
know
easy
whether
to
you
do.
have to bring that up or not. 1976, I was trying to celebrate the 200th anniversary of our country. Yeah.
Hit it out of the ballpark, and you rounded first, and Maddox was rounding first the other way.
Actually, Maddox came back to tag up. It was his fault.
He was coming back.
I never told you that, did I?
And the count now 1-2 on Greg Jeffries. The Mets on top with that grand slam home run by Rico Brogna, the first that he has hit in his major league career, and hopefully the first of many. Jeffries popped up into shallow right field. A good play on the ball his first time up by Jeff Kent to get him out, and another pop-up. Will it stay in the ballpark? No, it will. Yes, it will. Good play by Hundley as he puts it away, and Jeffries 0 for 2. Jeffries had been a hot batter since the All-Star game, hitting .347 to get his average up to .308. After a terrible start, he brought a 9-game hitting streak into this game, and Reid Cornelius on the mound for the Mets has the first out here in the 4th inning. That'll bring up Mark Whiten. Whiten struck out his first time up. Started the season with the Boston Red Sox and really struggled with Boston. Hit .185, was sent down to the minor leagues, and then picked up by the Phillies for Dave Hollins. Checking out our National League scoreboard, the Astros 2-1 over the Expos. The Giants leading the Pirates 1-0. Dodgers leading the Cardinals 1-0 after 2. Marlins and Rockies later, and the Cubs and Padres later on. Fastball grounded to Kent at second base. 2 men away.
Ralph, as soon as you announced that score, Houston and Montreal, the Astros scored 2 more quick ones, so it's now 4-1 Houston over Montreal. And if Houston wins and the Mets win, then the Mets will be tied with the Montreal Expos and only 3.5 behind the Phillies. That's unbelievable.
You know, the interesting thing, if you go back to the time before realignment, the Phillies and Cubs would be tied for first in the National League East. And the Mets 4.5 games back in 3rd place. Taking Atlanta out of the Eastern Division, they were in the Central. There's a drive for extra bases down the left field line. And the throw-in will stop Hayes at second base. Charlie picking up his first hit of this ball game, 1 for 2 and 4 for 11 in the series. Hayes has never been on the DL, but he's playing right now with a meniscus tear of the knee, and he might have to have an operation after the season. So a runner at second base as the Phillies pick up their second hit off of Cornelius, and the batter will be Jim Eisenreich. Jim walked his first time up, batting at .318, and he takes the fastball for ball 1. Phillies at the end of May with a record of 23-9. And on June 25th, they were in first place by 5 games over the Atlanta Braves with a record of 37-18. They have lost 23 games since that date to the Atlanta Braves. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Fregosi, in spite of the bad second part of the season, has had his contract extended. He'll be back with the Phillies next year. And a drive to center that will score a run. Eisenreich singles to center field, and Hayes comes in to score, and the Phillies are on the board. Yesterday, the Mets had a 5-0 lead and hung on to win it by a score of 10-8.
Catcher Mike Williams.
So 1 run off of that 5-run lead, knocked off on the single by Eisenreich. As you look at Kevin Elster, now with the Philadelphia Phillies, started his career with the New York Mets. An outstanding shortstop for the New York Mets until he hurt his arm.
Kevin, a good friend of Timothy Busfield, the movie star, and has several, not several, but a couple of movies that he is talking with Tim Busfield about.
He has that matinee idle face.
Good-looking guy, isn't he?
He sure is. 1 strike to count to Mike Lieberthal. Hitting at .226. Mike doing the catching since Darren Dalton is out for the season. He was brought up from Scranton Wilkes-Barre, where he was hitting .281 with 6 home runs and 42 runs batted in. 1 strike to count. And the fastball. 1-1. Cornelius, with a record of 1-6, has 1 victory against the Philadelphia Phillies. Won that ball game, a high-scoring ball game, 10-8. That's ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mets on top, 5-1. Phillies batting the top of the 4th inning. And a single up the middle by Lieberthal, going to second base as Eisenreich, and he holds there as Thompson gets the ball back in. So after 2 quick outs, 3 base hits in a row for the Phillies, and that'll bring up Kevin Stocker.
Shortstop Kevin Stocker.
We mentioned earlier that Reid Cornelius, his only major league win against the Phillies back on the 8th of August. In that game, he worked 5 2/3 innings, giving up 8 hits and 4 earned runs, walking 1 and striking out 3.
Now in trouble with Stocker, the batter. Stocker flied out to left field his first time up, hitting .225 on the year. And he takes ball 1. In the on-deck circle is Gene Shaw, the bat for the pitcher, Mike Williams. If they get that far. Jeff Juden is throwing in the bullpen for Philadelphia. And this ball popped up. It'll be playable for the infielders. And it'll be Vizcaíno to make the catch on the second base side to retire the side. 1 run on 3 hits. 2 men left on the score at the end of 3.5 innings. The Mets 5, Philadelphia 1, and here's a word from Nobody Beats the Wiz. Mets leading by a score of 5-1. The big blow, a grand slam home run by Rico Brogna. And a reminder that this game is brought to you by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. And by your Tri-State Toyota dealer. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Bottom of the 4th inning, and the leadoff batter will be Reid Cornelius. And Reid takes a strike from Mike Williams. Williams came into this game with a record of 2-2. And he misses with the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reid grounded out to short to end the inning in the 2nd inning when the Mets scored their first run of the ball game. And they added 4 more on Rico's Brogna's grand slam home run. And Reid comes up with a base hit, his 2nd hit in his major league career. He had come into this game 1 for 14. That'll bring up Damon Buford. Buford 0 for 2 has lined to left field and struck out. in his last 12 games coming into this game, hitting .378 to get his average to .246. Buford acquired in the Bobby Bonilla deal that saw the Mets also pick up Ochoa, who is with the ball club but not able to play because of a bruised hand. He injured his hand in the International League playoff games. Should be ready for the Mets road trip.
Kind of anxious to see him play, aren't you?
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing him. He's so highly touted. And the Mets will go to Atlanta and Florida on their next road trip. There's Ochoa, Alex Ochoa. Heralded outfielder. They say he has a better arm than Whiten in right field. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, me too. Gary and I were talking earlier. You don't realize how many right fielders that can throw until you start going down the line in the National League almost to a man. There are some terrific arms in this league from the right field position.
And you like to have that strong arm in right field. They have that long throw on base hits to right field with a runner at first base throwing to third. And a wild swing and a miss, and Buford is struck out for the second time. Third strikeout for Mike Williams, and he'll now work to Jose Vizcaino, who broke a 0 for 14 streak with a base hit in the third inning. He started the 4-1 rally with that single with his base hit to center field. Vizcaino 1 for 2 and 1 for 8 in this series. Vizcaino, an outstanding second half of the year. Dallas Green said he's the MVP in the second half. And that pitch inside for ball one. Vizcaino leads the club with 44 runs batted in with runners in scoring position. And there's a strike call, 1-1. Todd Hundley leads the club in batting average with runners in scoring position with a .373 batting average. As we look at the Toyota American League scoreboard, the Yankees trailing the Orioles 2-0. Red Sox on top of the Indians. If the Indians continued to play at their current pace, if they had played a 162-game season, they would have set an all-time record for winning games in the American League in the season, 113. If you can project it that way. Outstanding winning percentage this year. The 2-1 pitch. Looped into center field. Van Slyke right there. And he makes the catch.
Cleveland Indians, of course, one story in the American League. The biggest story right now, the Seattle Mariners, folks, are only 3 games behind the California Angels after the Angels had built up a lead. I believe the biggest lead was 11.5 games. I think that was the tallest lead they had. Can you imagine that, though? And there's still plenty of time left for Seattle to catch California. California plays later on this afternoon against Kansas City, and it's 1-0 Chicago over Seattle in the third at Comiskey Park in Chicago.
Seattle leading the wild card spot in the American League over the Yankees by 1 game. And now the batter, Carl Everett, and Carl takes strike one. Everett has walked and grounded out. Good play on him when he hit a sharp bouncer back to the mound and was turned away on a fine play by Mike Williams, the pitcher, when he fielded that ball. Everett has been a hot batter for the Mets, showing that he is going to be a strong candidate for next year in the outfield. Last 12 ball games, hitting .367 with 14 runs batted in. And he has driven in 26 runs in his last 25 ball games, not counting this one. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. California Angels. Looked like they had it wrapped up.
Yeah. Not now, though.
Ian Autry will join his horse if he doesn't win it this year. There's a little looper in the left field. It'll be a base hit. So Everett gloops one to left for a base hit. Cornelius down to first base. I should say to second base, and runners now at first and second with Jeff Kent coming up.
Well, he's certainly not wishing the...
We're not wishing it, but it might be. An old champion put away, and boy, if the Angels blow that. Angels, of course, lost the playoff game in 1986. Lose out a chance to be in the World Series as the Boston Red Sox went on to play the Mets in the World Series in 1986. Kent has flied to right field and has walked. And he takes a strike. Kent?
Angels, of course, have never been to a series, and Jim Fregosi managed the first division title for the Angels back in 1979. And they won it in 82 with Gene Mock as the manager, and came ever so close in 1986. Up 3-1 against the Boston Red Sox. Oh, they were one pitch away from winning it in 5 games. And the famous home run by Dave Henderson off Donnie Moore. 2-run shot to tie it. Henderson won it in the 11th with a sac fly.
And the 1-1 pitch hit in the air to center field. Van Slyke is right there. And Van Slyke makes the catch, fires it back in, but there were 2 men out, no need for that throw, and the side retired. So the Mets get 2 hits, leave 2, and the score at the end of 4. It's the Mets 5 and the Philadelphia Phillies 1, and here's a word from 9X. Well, the Mets on top by a score of 5-1 as we move to the top of the 5th inning and our new Dodge quiz for today. Which 2 Hall of Famers were born just 3 years apart in the small town of Hera, Oklahoma? 1,990 population. Now, this is a trick question.
Oh, it is.
They're all trick questions as far as I'm concerned. So here in the top of the 5th inning, the Phillies at bat. And it's Kevin Jordan to be the pinch hitter for the pitcher, Mike Williams. Kevin Jordan hitting 195, 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. So Williams on the losing side of this ball game, leaving the game after working 4 innings, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits. All 5 runs were earned.
Would Mickey Mantle be one of those? I have no idea where Hera, Oklahoma is.
I think it's in the state of Oklahoma.
No, Mickey Mantle was from Commerce. Well, I know that. Not too far from Oklahoma City.
Excuse me, and this ball fouled back into the stand. Jordan fouls it off. The count 2-2. And Cornelius back and getting the called strike for strike 3. So Jordan, the first out here in the 5th inning, caught looking. 4th strikeout for Cornelius. And it will bring up Mickey Morandini.
Well, I have no idea what the answer to that new Dodge quiz is.
He's checking it out right there. He's going to give you the answer. There's the first pitch to Morandini, a call strike. Morandini with a double and 2 at-bats.
Allie Reynolds, right near Oklahoma City.
He came out of Oklahoma City. That is true.
Maybe Hera. So we'll say Allie Reynolds, and you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody from
Hera.
No. There's a place in Reno that I know that's called Harrah's, but I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
Toby Hera, the AAA manager for the Mets this year.
And a good one.
Yeah.
Did a fine job with Norfolk down there with the New York Mets. They went to the finals of the International League playoffs, losing to Ottawa. Now a hit batter as Morandini gets on the hard way.
Well, we're going to get the answer. We're going to say Allie Reynolds. You agree with Allie Reynolds?
I'll go with you on that.
I have no idea who's. I don't even know if it's Allie Reynolds. I know Allie's.
He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Weiner brothers. Oh, come on.
Oh.
Paul and Lloyd Weiner played for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, that's right. Allie Reynolds in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Paul
Good
and
picture,
Lloyd. Paul and Lloyd one time hit home runs in the same game. The first time brothers ever did that. Paul Winter is in the Hall of Fame, and Lloyd too. And there's a fly ball to deep left field. Moving back is Buford, and he makes the play. So Andy Van Slyke makes contact for a change. He had struck out his first 2 times up.
First baseman,
And that will bring up Greg Jeffries. Jeffries 0 for 2. Brought a 9-game inning streak into the game.
Paul Wainer was my first batting instructor in Keokuk, Iowa in 1959.
They say he was a great batting instructor. Belly button was his thing.
Belly button.
And if you wonder what that has to do with baseball, it means to get your hips open and let your belly button clear to face the pitcher. As an outstanding batting instructor, an outstanding hitter. Toss over to first base, and Morandini back. All with over 3,000 Major League base hits. 1 strike to count, and a hard smash towards second. Kent will take it. Plenty of time to make the play to first base, and Jeffries is out for the 3rd time. So, batter hit by a pitch left on first, and the score at the end of 4.5 innings. It's the Mets 5, and the build-up is Phillies 1, and here's a word from your Tri-State Toyota dealer. That's on top 5-1, a new pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, he was in yesterday's ball game. Jeff Juden, he worked an inning and a third yesterday, and he gave up a home run to Rico Brogna.
So Juden will try Brogna again, and he starts him off with a fastball. Brogna 2 for 2 in this game, a grand slam home run. That home run and base hit against Mike Williams, and against Williams, Brogna now in his Major League career 3 for 3 with 2 home runs, one of them a grand slammer and a single. 1-1 the count to Brogna, who hit his 21st home run in the 3rd inning. The most he ever hit in the minor leagues was 21 in Double-A ball. This ball to deep center. It's way back. It is going. It is gone. Goodbye. Brogna with his 2nd home run in this ball game. And he has put the Mets up by a score of 6-1.
If Rico Brogna were going to open a steak chain, it wouldn't be Brogna's, it'd be Sizzler. I mean, this guy is about as hot as you can get. 5 home runs now in his last 6 games. That wasn't an easy pitch to hit. That ball's low and away.
And he hit it a long way. 2 home run games this season. Phenia, Buford, Brogna, and Everett. And it's Todd Huntley, the batter.
How about that smile on Dallas Green's face?
You know, Dallas has always said that Brogna lacks only one thing, and that is aggressiveness. He has been aggressive. He could be an outstanding star for the New York Mets with that good swing.
Look at the location right here. That ball down. It was out over the plate. I thought it was farther away than it was. Over the center field fence again. I mean, he has tremendous power to straightaway center field.
And he does it so easily. He has that short swing.
And Ralph, just about as unassuming a gentleman, and that's really the word that you think of when you think of Brogna, is a gentleman.
He is a class act. There's no doubt about it. And on top of that, a great glove. He's made only 2 errors all year at first base. And yesterday, he saved the ball game from being tied with a great play at first base, leaping high in the air for a line drive that would have tied up the game. So Huntley now with a count at 2-2 as Brogna enjoys this game to its fullest extent. He is 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. Foul ball keeps the count at 2-2.
5 RBIs, 2 runs scored, 3 at bats.
And the breaking ball missing outside. Jeff Juden, with a record 2-4, made his first relief appearance of the year yesterday. He had been a starting pitcher throughout the season until yesterday, and now used in relief for the second time. Also, in that ball game yesterday, Tyler Green was used in relief for the first time. So the starting pitchers that carried the Phillies early in the year have been demoted to relief work. There's a drive down the right field line. It'll be extra bases. Hundley on his way to second base. Whitten having trouble out there. He has the great arm, the relay throw. It is in time. The tag is made, and Hundley is out.
And that's where looking at the third base coach can slow you up and break your stride. With nobody out, you want to make sure. Great play by Charlie Hayes on the other end on that in-between hop. Todd Hundley about halfway between. Watch the ball. Now he looks over there, and then he has to look back to find the bag. So by looking at the third base coach, he actually broke stride. Mike Cubbage waving him on, but just a great play by Charlie Hayes on the short hop. A double for Hundley, thrown out trying to stretch it.
And a perfect relay. Whitten to the second baseman, Morandini, and then on to third base to Hayes, where Hayes made a very good pickup. And now the batter will be Ryan Thompson. Ryan 2 for 2 in the ball game, takes ball 1. Whitten recognized as the premier throwing right fielder in the National League. Tough man to run on, and especially with no one out. There you see Mark Whitten, who was traded to the Boston Red Sox by the Cardinals and then picked up by the Phillies. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Thompson. Thompson singled up the middle his first time up, looped a base hit to right field. His first 2 hits of this series. He's 2 for 10. He gets jammed with that fastball, fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think Mark Whitten probably has the strongest throwing arm, but he's not nearly the best right fielder in the National League. Raul Mondesi's the best right fielder in the league.
He too can throw well. Pop up on the first base side. Second baseman Morandini makes the call and the catch, and Thompson is out. Well, you read about all the scouting reports, and there are scouts all over the place in all the Major League ball games. I've just heard the best scouting report of the year.
What was that?
Advanced scouting report on Cal Ripken Jr. The scout wrote in, and he said, looks like he needs a day off.
When was this?
This was written the other day.
Oh.
I'll tell you, that's got to be the ultimate in scouting reports. Looks, Cal Ripken, who just broke the record for consecutive games, played in the major leagues.
His last day off was May 29th, 1982.
Might be right.
It was.
I know that's the right date, yeah. First game he started the streak was on May 30th.
Yeah.
2 strikes to count. You know, talking about Cal Ripken, this ball grounded foul. The Orioles have a ball boy named Ernie Tyler. He's 71 years of age, and he has never missed a pitch in the 71 years in the history of the Orioles minor league and majors. So he's got the longevity record for seeing ball games in Baltimore. Says he's never missed a pitch, which is something no umpire can say.
Tippecanoe and Tyler, too.
Tyler, too. What was that? That was the Olympic Games same way back when, wasn't it? A little pop-up in the center field. Van Slyke should have it, and that retires the side. So Bogar flies out to center field. Mets get 1 on the home run by Brogna. And the score at the end of 5 innings of play here at Shea. The Mets 6, the Phillies 1, and here's a word from Federal Express. Back here at Shea Stadium, the Mets leading by a score of 6-1, and Mark Whitten will lead it off for the Phillies. And Whitten takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Whitten 0 for 2 in today's ball game. Talking about strong arms and assists by outfielders.
Yeah, 4 of the top 6 throwing outfielders who lead the National League in assists, including the first 2, are right fielders. Headed by Raul Mondesi with 16.
And Larry Walker High fly ball to deep left. It's way back. It's going, and it is gone. Goodbye. Mark Whiten with his 10th home run of the year, and an opposite field fly ball that just carried and carried and carried. So the Phillies get their second run of the ball game.
And showed yesterday that they can come back. Charlie Hayes had a home run in yesterday's game. And now Mark Whiten today on a ball out of the strike zone. Talk about strong. Well, looked like it was off the plate.
And Hayes fouls it back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes with a double his last time up, scoring the first run for Philadelphia. That was in the 4th inning. Mets leading 6-2, and the Phillies trying to get back in the game. Curve ball hit up the middle, a base hit. So here in the 6th inning, the Phillies have had 2 hits in a row with no one out, and that'll bring up Jim Eisenreich.
Jim Eisenreich.
Newcomer Robert Pearson in the bullpen for the New York Mets. So, action in the Mets bullpen as Eisenreich steps into the batter's box. Jim has been on twice. He has walked and singled. Drove in his 49th run with a single to center field in the 4th inning. Greg Pavlik, pitching coach of the New York Mets, has really got something to brag about in the last half of this season as Eisenreich takes a fastball for strike 1. The Mets in their last 35 games have had a pitching earned run average of 3.27, bringing their ERA from 4.22 down to 3.27, which is 3rd in the National League. And now DiPoto throwing in the bullpen with Person. Ground ball hit the short, might be 2. They get the first, and the throw to first base in time for the double play. So Vizcaino to Kent to Brogna, and the Mets pull off the double play to pick up 2 quick outs.
Change-up tap to Vizcaino, and Vizcaino and Jeff Kent have really improved their double play pivot, especially Jeff Kent. Nicely turned by the Mets. Well done.
So 2 men away, and the batter will be the catcher, Mike Lieberthal, and he fouls off his first pitch for strike 1. Mets have really been playing outstanding baseball. They're 4.5 games out of first place in the wild card race. Phillies and Cubs tied for that department. They're a game back of 3rd place, a game back of Montreal. And if they beat the Phillies here today, they'll be 3.5 games back of Philadelphia for 2nd place in the National League East. And that's ball 2, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mets have won 4 straight, 8 of 11, 19 of 29. And since the All-Star break, they have won 34 of 60 ball games. So the Mets 4.5 games back of the Philadelphia Phillies. The 3-1 pitch. Of course, the Phillies trailing the Atlanta Braves by 18 ball games. So no chance at all. There's Atlanta. Rolls right along. We were talking about assists by outfielders in the National League. Here's the list. Bond's the only non-right fielder in that list. Bond's unusual for a left fielder to have that many assists. Seldom do they run on left fielders other than trying to get home from second on a base hit. Topped out in front of the mound, and Cornelius over to get it. The play to first base. Retires the side. So in the inning, 1 run on the home run by Whiten, and the score at the end of 5.5 innings. The Mets 6, the Phillies 2, and here's a word from your Tri-State Toyota dealer. Mets on top by a score of 6-2. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Mets have played 12 games with the Phillies this year. Each team has won 6, so this is the rubber game of the season series. Reid Cornelius will lead it off. Reid 1 for 2 in the game. And he fouls off the fastball by Jeff Juden. Phillies have used 26 different pitchers so far this year. It is an all-time record for the Phillies in pitchers used in one season. Ground ball to Hayes. He gets it over to first. Referee's making the tag as he comes off the bag. This copyrighted telecast is authorized under television rights granted by Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, LP, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Sterling Doubleday Enterprises, LP, is prohibited. Any commercial or other use of the program, such as by charging admission for its showing, is likewise prohibited. And that is not prohibited.
Check that dude on the right. Now, he's got chocolate ice cream almost down to his neck.
That's the way it's supposed to be done.
That's the way you're supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he's got a good procedure.
He's got a
there.
chocolate goatee right there.
That is the way it should be. 2 balls, 1 strike on Damon Buford, who is 0 for 3 in this ball game with 2 strikeouts.
Got to go for the fingers after that.
And it's a ball call, so it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Buford came into this game hitting .246. Coming into this game in his last 11 games, he's been on base 26 of 56 plate appearances and hitting .378 over the 12-game period. His last 12 as he takes the strike for a count of 3-2. Mets with a record at home of over 500, 32-31. Foul ball keeps the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. You know, Tim, it's amazing. If the Mets had gotten off to this kind of a start, it would have made this season entirely different.
I'll say.
Phillies did get off to a tremendous start, and they have faltered in the second half of the season. But they have really eliminated the criticism of having a bad season with their great start. So 2 men out as Buford grounds out, and that'll bring up Jose Vizcaino. Jose 1 for 3. Hitting against Jeff Juden for the first time. Phillies in the early part of the year got some phenomenal pitching from pitchers that had not had any success in the major leagues. As that ground ball ends the inning, Morandini coming over to first to Jeffries for the out. 1, 2, 3 for the Mets, and the score at the end of 6 innings of play here at Shea. It's the Mets 6, the Phillies 2, and here's a word from your Tri-State Ford dealer. Top of the 7th inning, the Mets leading 6-2, and back in for the play-by-play, Gary Thorne.
Well, thanks very much. Reid Cornelius ready to go. Gary Varsho is the pinch hitter for Jeff Juden, the pitcher. Varsho up. He's been a premier pinch hitter for Philadelphia this season, trying to get something going here in the 7th inning. Reid Cornelius, a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts for Cornelius in the ball game. Varsho 11 for 40 as a pinch hitter and 4 pinch hit RBIs, leading it off here for Philadelphia. Fastball by Cornelius outside. He'll be followed by Morandini and Van Slyke. Juden out of there, working a couple of innings, giving up the 2 hits, including the home run to Rico Brogna. Jeff Juden doesn't want to see Rico Brogna again, and he won't. He came on yesterday in relief. Ralph mentioned earlier, first time out of the bullpen. Rico Brogna hit a home run off him yesterday, leading off an inning, and he hit a home run leading off the 5th inning in this game against Jeff Juden. 2-2 delivery, and that misses inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
One thing you can be sure of, Gary, he will remember that into next year.
Yes, he will.
Both of them will, as a matter of fact. Very indelibly.
Varsho, pretty good wood on that to right field. Everett is there and puts it away. Pinch hitter Varsho retired, and there's one down here in the 7th. Philadelphia's lost their last 5 games to the Mets after they came in here and swept 4 earlier in the season. And the likes of Dave Malicki and Reid Cornelius are doing a heck of a job for the Mets in sort of fill-in roles, really, in this starting rotation. Cornelius has been a swingman for the Mets. Hard hit into left field for a base hit. Mickey Morandini's on again. Morandini, single, double, and hit by a pitch in his 4 plate appearances. Picks up the single with 1 down. That'll be the 7th hit for Philadelphia in the ballgame. Take a look at our National League scoreboard. A lot of games underway on this Sunday afternoon. Mets hoping that the Astros can win that. They've got a chance to tie the Expos for 3rd place. Dodgers battling for that playoff spot with Colorado. Andy Van Slyke up. 1 down, 1 on. Philadelphia coming into today 4 games out of the wild card spot. L.A., Houston, and then Philadelphia. Lined hard to right field. It'll be a 1-hop single in front of Carl Everett. So Andy Van Slyke is on. He's 1 for 4 in the ball game. And a couple of hits here with 1 away, and Philadelphia threatening again.
Last 2 innings have been not good innings for Reid Cornelius. A home run and another base hit in the 6th inning. 2 hits here in the 7th inning. And action starting up in the bullpen for the Mets again as Dallas Green goes to the mound.
Jerry DiPoto up in the bullpen. Dallas Green taking the slow walk out to the mound here. He saw what Philadelphia can do in comeback situations, as Ralph mentioned earlier in that game yesterday, where the Mets had a couple of big leads and couldn't hold on to them. He'll make the move right here. Jerry DiPoto is coming on. Good job, though, by Reid Cornelius, who's trying to get out of a 5-game losing streak, having won only 1 this season, and this is 8th start. Could still be the winner in this one. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Bell Atlantic. We'll be back right after these messages.
Jerry DiPoto, the new pitcher for the Mets, with the Mets leading in this ball game by a score of 6-2. DiPoto comes in with a record of 4-6. He has had 1 save. This will be his 55th game. He has appeared in more games than any of their Mets pitchers this year. Earned run average of 4.15. And he will be pitching to the heart of the batting order as Greg Jeffries is the first batter, followed by Whiten and Hayes if it goes that far.
Reid Cornelius out of there, 6 1/3, 8 hits, couple of walks, 4 strikeouts. The 1 home run hit by Mark Whiten. Responsible for the 2 base runners on here, and Jeffries up against DiPoto. Mets leading at 6-2 in the 7th. And taken outside by Jeffries. Jeffries trying to extend his 9-game hit streak. 5 hits in his last 13 at-bats. You see the hot bat he's had. Largely concurrent with his move from the outfield to first base after the All-Star break. 1-0 fastballs there, 1-1.
You know, they've always said changing positions is difficult, but going to the outfield certainly isn't that difficult. But then you wonder about the case of Howard Johnson, who was a great 3rd baseman for the Mets, played in the infield, went to the outfield, and it was the demise of his career.
Ralph, confidence is so big a part of that, isn't it? I mean, Greg was not confident in the outfield.
He didn't
Howard
like it
Johnson
out there at all.
is not confident.
Absolutely, you're right. They tried him in center, and that is tough.
Yep. Those 2 players just were not comfortable moving to the outfield, and not that they didn't try to do it, they did. Ground ball to short. Vizcaino backing up. There's one. Relay by Kent on Jeffries. They turn 2. So Jerry DiPoto comes on, gets the ground ball double play. Vizcaino, Kent to Brogna. Couple of hits, 1 left on. 7th inning stretch time. Mets lead it by 4. Now this word from Burger King.
Russ Springer, the new pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, as the Mets lead at 6-2. He began the season with the California Angels, was optioned to Vancouver, recalled by the Angels, and then optioned out again. So Springer comes in for the record of 0-1 for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Springer facing Carl Everett. There are the numbers on Springer, who appeared in the first game of this series, a couple of innings, gave up 2 runs on a hit, Struck out 4. The strikeout pitcher, hard thrower. Foul back by Everett. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carl has walked and scored, had a single, and has grounded out in this ball game. 3 hits in the series, 3 for 9. Carl's put up some big RBI numbers for the Mets this year. 26 RBIs in his last 27 ball games. Carl Everett. And he lashes that one over Hayes' head into left field. Eisenreich to get it. Everett's on a couple of singles. He too just keeps on rolling. That'll be hit number 10 for the Mets in this ball game. Take a look among the rookie leaders in RBIs. Carl Everett right there in half the number of games that Chipper Jones has played this season. His second. Jones has played the whole year. Carl Everett's played only half of it.
Good impressive marks by Everett here in the last 2 months.
Oh, Everett on at first base with a base hit. Kent coming up. Drew a walk and scored in that 3rd inning on the grand slam home run by Rico Brogna, who's had 2 homers today. 0 for 2 officially at the plate, batting .268 on the season. Jeff's had a hot bat in this series, though. 4 hits and 11 times up. 49 runs batted in on the year. Russ Springer, the fastball, misses up high. 2 balls and no strikes.
Most amazing thing about Jeff Kent is his runners in scoring position batting average this year. He's hitting just .177 with runners in scoring position. Last year, he was 2nd in the National League with runners in scoring position to Justice of the Atlanta Braves.
That's a hard one to put your finger on.
It really is. That's just a tremendous turnaround. One of the best clutch hitters in the game last year with runners in scoring position. 2nd best in the National League, and this year it has been nothing but a struggle.
He has stayed in that 4 hole since Bobby Bonilla's moved to Baltimore. 3-0 count here, taking all the way, fastball strike, 3-1. 6-2 lead. Mets out hitting Philadelphia 10-8 with that 4-run lead. Philadelphia's picked up a lot of hits in this series, but not a lot of runs. At least not enough to win. Had 11 hits in that ball game last night, 15 the first game. Runner goes, swung on and missed. Lieberthal's throw goes into center field. Everett gets up and will head over to 3rd. Stolen base and an error on Lieberthal, the catcher.
2nd stolen base for Everett this year in 7 attempts. Running on the 3-1 pitch. It's missed by Kent. Bad throw down to 2nd base by Lieberthal, and on the air, the Mets have a runner at 3rd with no one out, and they'll have to play the infield in.
And there's a real RBI opportunity now for Jeff Kent. Infield drawn in all the way around from the stretch. Springer 3-2, and he'll do it again. We have seen some of those plays with the catcher up to throw where the batters could cross the plate this year, mighty close to interference.
Yeah, in yesterday's ball game, Huntley was throwing to 2nd base. The batter came all the way across the plate in front of him. The play wasn't called, and they keep telling us that you can call that play, but the umpires say, well, if you don't make contact with the hitter, it doesn't count. I don't understand that.
I don't either. You can mess a guy up just by being there.
Absolutely. You got to go around him to throw, and that takes time.
Our Toyota American League scoreboard. Cleveland's come back to tie the Indians in their game. Boston's going to win it. Magic number at 4, but what a struggle they're having to wrap that thing up in the American League East. 3-2 for the 3rd time to Kent, and it'll be a 4th. Kent fighting off Russ Springer. Everett on at 3rd base, nobody out. Trying to get him in as the 7th run of the ball game. Mets have improved to the 5th best average and 8th in runs in the league now. Swung on, drilled to left field. He double clutched on this. Eisenreich back. Goodbye, home run, Jeff Kent. A 2-run shot. of the year for Kent. RBIs 50 and 51, and the Mets lead at 8-2.
Mets get their third home run in the ball game. And Kent coming through with a runner in scoring position and a hanging curveball. The ball he hit out of the ballpark.
Can Brogna get 3 home runs in a game? He tried. Strike 1. 3 for 3 in this game. A 6-game hit streak. A single, a grand slam home run, and a solo home run for Rico Brogna. Strike 2. Brogna now in his 6-game hit streak has gone 10 for 22 with 5 home runs and 11 RBIs in 5 games. 1 ball, 2 strikes on him.
Johnny Mize hit 3 home runs in a game 6 times. That's the most that's ever been done. Only a chance to do it for the first time in his major league career.
And he got him. So Rico Brogna, they finally get him back to the dugout without him circling the bases. Springer the strikeout. So that career high 5 RBIs for Rico today. 1 away. 2 runs in here in the 7th inning. Todd Hundley has walked, struck out, and doubled. Was thrown out trying to extend that double into a triple. Mark Whiten made the throw to Charlie Hayes at third. Todd with the average up over 300 now. 301, 50 RBIs. And remember, because of that injury, he's playing in only his 78th game this year. 2-strike count.
Todd came off the disabled list on September 1st, and since that time he's raised his average from 282 to 301.
An impressive performance by the Mets catcher this season. 0-2 delivery by Springer. In the kitchen on him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, the Mets have knocked the stuffing out of the Philadelphia Phillies in this series. You can just see it, not only on the scoreboard, but just watching the Phillies outside with it. 2-2. Phillies came in here early, won 4. Since then, the Mets won 3 at Philadelphia, now threatening to sweep this 3-game series here. Swung on and missed. Big cut by Todd Hundley. Springer gets his 2nd strikeout. 2 down in the 7th inning.
In defense of Philadelphia with their bad second half, they've had 19 players on the DL so far this year. They have been decimated by injuries.
Their big leader, of course, Darren Daulton. Of all the players Jim Fregosi worried about going down and didn't think it would happen to was Daulton. Ryan Thompson way behind on the fastball. Strike 1.
Daulton's going to have his 7th knee operation and the first one on his other knee. He's had, I believe, 6 on the left knee and 1 on the right now.
Can't be much left in there.
Ooh.
2-strike count. And of course, Kurt Schilling lost. Starter David West. Shoulder problem put him on the DL.
Dykstra.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch, and he got him. So Springer strikes the side out, but not before. Kent has the 2-run homer, and the Mets have an 8-2 lead. Your Honda line score will return right after this message.
Little investment advice. Bip Roberts, 1986 rookie card, worth about $275. 20 years from now, who knows? 1,000, 2,000, might even go.
Bip, man, you were looking at Robin Roberts. Says here your car's worth 4 cents.
Yo, T, 4 cents if it's in excellent condition, but 10 cents if it's totally met.
Oh, sorry.
happy day for the Met fan. He thinks it's warm and sunny.
Still got the big summer hat on after Labor Day. He's not going to throw it away. Remember in the old days when people wore straw hats at the ballpark, and on Labor Day they'd sail them out into the field? That's before your time, I think.
The hats?
Yeah, and that lovely-looking ladies before your time, too.
Was that a model's face or what? Here's Mark Whiten, who takes the strike on the inside corner. Whiten has delivered the long ball. His 10th home run in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 in the ball game for Whiten. 293 in the year. 10 homers and 31 RBIs. Talk about the inexplicable season. Went to Boston and could not do a thing. Couldn't break the 200 barrier. Part of that because of an injury. Sent down to AAA. Got so bad. And then finally they just gave up. And the Phillies acquired him, and he's been on a tear.
4 home runs in 1 ball game for the St. Louis Cardinals. Tough year for Jim Fregosi, although his contract has been extended. He's all set for next year.
Jerry DiPoto on in relief for the Mets. Inside to Whiten and down low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Gary, on this day in 1984, Doc Gooden struck out 16 Philadelphia batters. And he lost the game 2-1. 5 days earlier, he had struck out 16 Pirates, and his 32 strikeouts in consecutive games tied the Major League record. What a difference a day makes.
Will he be back?
You know, the most astute comment I heard about Doc Gooden in those early days when he was just unbelievable as a pitcher, the best young pitcher I ever saw, was made by Bob Feller. Bob Feller, when asked about Doc Gooden in those days when he was a Cy Young Award winner at the youngest age, what about Doc? And he said, well, give him a chance to mess up his life and then see how good he is.
Oof, words to hang on the wall.
They were said way back in 1984-85.
DiPoto gets the strikeout. Whiten retired.
The pressures of being a champion are multiple. Many, many things come on. Many, many temptations.
Yep.
It is not easy.
Tried mightily to get back this year to play, and baseball would not allow Doc Gooden back. He certainly is going to be looking next season to be back. Charlie Hayes up against DiPoto, down low for a ball. Hayes a couple of hits and 3 at-bats and a run scored. Only 2 on the board. Jim Eisenreich had an RBI single and the home run by Whiten. That's been it for the Phillies. They've had somebody on in every inning except the first. Jeff Kent got time. Outstanding play.
Well, Jeff Kent has learned to play second base. In the early days of his career with the Mets, they thought he could not be a second baseman. We're talking about putting him at third base. This is an outstanding play at second base by Kent, and he has done that many, many times this year. Good sure hands, and his arm has been very accurate this year.
Doing that with a bad right shoulder. Jim Eisenreich. Little help from the D for Jerry DiPoto. 2 down, 1-0 count on Eisenreich. Batting at .319 on the season. 36-year-old veteran. Came into this year with a .285 career batting average, and sure looks like he's going to up those numbers. He'll be over 300 for the season. 1-1 the count. DiPoto missing down low. 2-1.
Overcoming Tourette's disease and coming back after missing many, many games in the major leagues. Coming back to be an outstanding player.
Quality guy. Inside corner strike. 2-2. Has rarely had an opportunity in seasons to be the regular. Gets platooned in the outfield. Gets 300+ at-bats year after year. Check swing. Grounded foul. Stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kind of ball player the managers love to have. Never says a word. Always ready to play and produces. 2-2 delivery by DiPoto. Slapped foul outside of third. Stay at 2-2. Philadelphia needing some base runners here in this 8th inning if they're going to make a run at the Mets, who are leading at 8-2. And threatening to sweep this series. Philadelphia 2-3 on this road trip. 2-2 delivery by DiPoto. Just missed. DiPoto thought he had that one. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Philadelphia with 9 at home coming up. 4 against Florida, 3 against Cincinnati, and 2 against Atlanta. 3-2 delivery. Left field, Damon Buford. He's got it. So for only the 2nd time in the ball game, Phillies do not get a base runner on. Retired in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th with the Mets leading it by 6. Now this from Visa. Gary Thorne, Ralph Kiner, Tim McCarver, thanks for being with us on this Sunday. The Mets leading at 8-2, trying to win their 5th consecutive ball game and sweep this series from the Phillies. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Tim Bogart's gone 0 for 3 in the game. Russ Springer on in relief, the 3rd pitcher. And strike 1 to Bogart. Starter Mike Williams tagged for the 5 runs. Juden 1. Springer's given up a couple on the 2-run homer by Kent. And then struck the side out in the 7th inning. 1-1. Houston still leading Montreal in the 8th inning 4-3. That's coming in a game behind Montreal Expos in 3rd place in the National League East. 1-2 delivery. Missed outside. 2-2.
And there'll be 3 games back of Philadelphia if they win this ball game here today.
Boy, that is closing some ground in a hurry here in the last 10 days. Off the fist, comes straight back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bogart.
3.5 games back of the Phillies, so they have a chance to finish 2nd with a strong finish. The Mets. It's sort of good news and bad news because the higher you finish, the later you draft in the minor league draft, major league draft.
Tim Bogart, base hit. Climbing the ladder for that one. Drives it into right field. A leadoff single for Bogey here in the 8th inning. Yeah, that is. And it also makes you think a little harder about the first half of the season and what might have been, huh?
What might have been. Those are what dreams are made of in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It's that old saying in Brooklyn. Right. Wait till next year. And the Mets has something to look forward to for next year.
And will he be here?
This finish has got to help.
Yes. Certainly does. Here's Jerry DiPoto getting his first chance at the plate. Squares to bunt with the corners charging. Up high for a ball. Jerry DiPoto doesn't get a lot of chances at the plate, as you see, since he's usually in middle relief, and rarely it comes around to his turn at the plate. Fouls that one off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's been up 4 times this year prior to this at bat.
70-plus innings now worked by him on the year for the Mets, as Ralph mentioned, coming out of that bullpen more often than anyone else. Strike on the outside corner to him, and he's down now. A ball and 2 strikes with Bogart first and nobody out here in the 8th. One and 2. Will he drop it down? He pulls the bat back. This down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Looking to Mike Cubbage for the sign here with the bunt sign still on. Bogart checking over as well. Everybody's still expecting the bunt. Hayes in at 3rd. Jeffries charging. He squares around and he's gone. Struck him out. 4th strikeout for Springer as he fouls it off. 1 down. Our nobody beats the Wiz game summary for the Phillies. 5 straight losses to the Mets, could be 6. Starters in this series have been rocked in the 10 2/3 innings they have worked. Rico Brogna, as Timmy said, just sizzling. 2 home runs and a career-high 5 RBIs. Kent a 2-run homer and the homestand record, a good one for the Mets. They leave after the game for Atlanta. Breaking ball by Springer outside to Damon Buford. Buford's had an 0 for 4 in this game. Got Bogart on at first base. 1 away. shallow right field. Whiten and Morandini. Morandini, the second baseman. Kind of looks like when Morandini goes out, he figures he's going to have to make the catch. Whiten doesn't seem to call him off very often.
Whitten's got that. You got it. Right here, Morandini goes back out there, and he hears those footsteps, and I hope he heard you got it.
Heard water splashing in those.
Sloshing out there in the outfield. It rained hard prior to game time.
2 down. Bogar remains at first, and Vizcaino. Jose has had a single in 4 at-bats in this one. Got out of the 0 for 7 with that single in the 3rd. Then is flied out, grounded out. 270 on the season for Vizcaino. That's with a chance to take this season series from Philadelphia. 7 games to 6 if they hang on to the lead here going to the 9th inning. And Jerry DiPoto taking his turn at bat. No action in the bullpen. DiPoto's going to have a chance to wrap it up. 0-1. Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Vizcaino.
Now DiPoto can get his second save because he will have gone 3 innings if he lasts the 9th inning.
1-1 breaking ball. Missed down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two ball, 1 strike count. Runner at first base, Bogar. Hayes looking. He'll have no play on this one. Back into the seats. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The series coming up. Mets will have Bobby Jones kicking it off against Steve Avery tomorrow night. Dave Malicki will take on Jason Schmidt in game 2. Jason Isringhausen and John Smoltz in the 3rd, and Dave Tailgater and Greg Maddux will be going for his 18th win on Thursday. That one bounced.
Maddux just setting a record for consecutive wins on the road, winning his 17th against Cincinnati yesterday. Oh, he's a cinch for the Cy Young again.
Not even a question anymore, is there?
No question.
3-2 count. Runner goes, 2 down. Vizcaino to left field. Eisenreich. And he puts it away, and that'll do it. No runs, a leadoff single, 1 left on. We've completed 8. Mets lead it. They'll try and wrap it up in the 9th after this from Budweiser. New York Mets leading it here by a score of 8-2. Phillies get their final chance. We talked about Greg Maddux, who's set to pitch against the Mets at home on Thursday. He set the record, 17 consecutive road wins as he got number 17 in last night's game. Dotson, McLean, McLeish had all been tied with 16. And Maddux had a game where he worked only 1 inning, and then the rains came in the start before last night and didn't get it. It rained last night, what, over 2 hours?
2.5 hour delay.
They had to wait, but he still came out and won it. So he's got the new record for consecutive road wins, and the Mets will be facing him on Thursday. 9th inning, Mike Lieberthal.
Old name up here that I teammate of mine at one time, Calvin Coleridge McLeish.
Great name. Jerry DiPoto, a save opportunity for him. Breaking ball down low to Lieberthal, who's 1 for 2 and a walk in the game. Mike Lieberthal doing the catching today. That's about hit the Phillies 12-8. Fouled off. Ball and 2 strikes. Lieberthal, Stalker in the number 9 hole for Philadelphia.
Well, it's a shortened season this year, 144 games. Normally the season would be 162 games. So a chance that some of the big hitting records will certainly be eliminated. But there are some records that are going to be set this year, and they're on the other side, the negative side. How about no more errors than runs batted in a season?
Phew, that is scary.
Jose Offerman of the Dodgers has made 35 errors. He's driven in 31 runs, and he will set that record for the second time. More errors than runs batted in. Only one other player that has had 35 errors has done it twice. Sonny Jackson.
Struck him out. DiPoto retires Lieberthal. His second strikeout. Day in, day out at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and never let you down, so make it a Bud Light. And Ralph, as a result of those numbers that Offerman put up, he got taken out of that shortstop job about 2 weeks ago now, and he's still out.
Fonville playing shortstop there. He probably won't play the rest of this year.
No. Even though he's clearly the better, well, how can you say clearly the better shortstop? Fonville doesn't have the arm and doesn't have the range, but he feels balls that are hit at him.
He does catch it. That's true, and he throws it well. And he plays the outfield. Really a second baseman playing shortstop.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers still trying to get that wild card position, possibly. They could win it over Colorado and be the Western Division champion. They start their action a total of 1.5 games up on Houston in the wild card race.
Fouled off. Kevin Stalker, one down, nobody on here in the 9th inning. Stalker 0 for 3 today.
No, you have to give Mike Piazza a real good shot at the MVP if the Dodgers do win. The Dodgers 55 wins when he has been in the lineup. 55 and 41 their record, and when he has not been in the lineup, they have won just 13 while losing a total of 20.
Fastball to Stalker by DiPoto missing. Piazza 10 points behind Tony Gwynn now in the batting race. 29 home runs. Shaw's come out in the on-deck circle, a pinch hit. He is 5th in home runs, Piazza is. Leads the Dodgers in runs batted in. Fouled off. That's, of course, with missing the games Ralph was talking about. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And it'll be a great finish in the West because those teams are all going to be playing each other for the remainder of the season. Colorado, L.A., San Diego, San Francisco.
2 weeks left in the season.
Towards second base, Kent. Can he do it again? Long throw. Brogna, but not in time. Great play at both ends. But Stalker will get the infield single.
Well, this is a chopper. That's a difficult play as Kent, playing on a bad leg, goes deep and back at second base, makes the pick. Throw in the dirt, a good pick by Brogna at first base. Brogna with that great glove. He's made only 2 errors, but an infield base hit to keep it alive for Philadelphia.
Philadelphia's 9th hit of the ball game comes with 1 down in the 9th inning, and Gene Shaw will be the pinch hitter for Russ Springer, the pitcher. Shaw appearing in only his 12th game, 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year. Takes the fastball inside, ball 1. Jerry DiPoto working on the save here. Shaw called up from Scranton at the end of August. Batted .313 in the season of AAA. He played in its entirety. 1-0 delivery, and that one is foul back. And the count goes to a ball and a strike. Shaw trying to keep it alive for the Phillies, down 8-2. Springer worked a couple of innings, gave up the 2 runs on 3 hits. Walked none and struck out 4. Gave up that home run to Jeff Kent, the 2-run shot. Phillies again today, leaving base runners on. They've stranded 7. Second most left on base in the league. Only Houston has left more. Both teams over 1,000 base runners stranded.
And the Phillies last in home runs in the National League.
Who would ever have thought that at the start of the year?
And in that ballpark, that is a home run hitter's haven. They've had only 88 home runs all year long.
That is amazing. 2-2 the count on Shaw. Runner at first not being held. Chop towards third. Bogar only plays at first in the dirt. Oh, look what I got. The number 1 fielding first baseman, Rico Brogna, saves yet another error. 2 down.
But you can't believe how much confidence it gives an infielder when you have a first baseman with a glove like Brogna. This is a tough play, that half hop. And he makes it look easy. Bogar had plenty of time for that throw, but threw it down in the dirt, and then Brogna with that great pickup.
What a day he's having, huh? He'll want to stay here and just keep on playing for a while.
And back-to-back days, he did the same thing yesterday. Defensively and offensively, yeah.
Saved the game, hauling in that line drive late in the game. Brogna delivered the home run yesterday in a 2 RBI game, 3 hits. 1 ball, 1 strike, Mickey Morandini.
Time is everything. If this were a pennant deciding type finish for the New York Mets, that's all you'd be reading about is Brogna.
Yep. Runner on at second base. We're in the 9th inning. Phillies 2 down. Mets trying to wrap up this series. Have the 8-2 lead. Morandini a double and a single, and hit by a pitch in 4 plate appearances today. Batting at .292 on at second base. Stalker, who moved down on that play at first.
He leads the club in batting with runners in scoring position at .375.
He's 3rd best in the league, Ralph. That is really something for a guy who's in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, that's amazing. They have done well when he's been the leadoff batter. Mets have made only 1 error in their last 5 ball games. That is a turnaround there for the Mets, and a tribute to Dallas Green, who has worked hard with these players. Morandini, about 3 years ago, was told by Jim Fregosi to choke up on the bat or ship out. And ever since then, he's been an outstanding player.
And still hitting for gap power.
He's got more home runs this year choking up in the bat than he ever had. Twice as many as he's ever had. And he chokes up with that bat about 3 or 4 inches. There's a lesson to be learned right there.
31 doubles, 6 triples. A lot of extra base hits. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fans up and applauding for the final out of this ball game. Jerry DiPoto with the runner at second base, 2-2. He'll have to do it again. Mets with the victories here in this homestand have been able to get above 500 now at home. They are 33-32 at Shea. 27-38 on the road. A victory here, and they'd only be overall 9 games under 500. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Morandini. He's just battling away, keeping his at-bat alive and the game on.
34-26 wins and losses since the All-Star game. It has been a second-half turnaround for the Mets.
Late game souvenir right there. Again, DiPoto with the 2-2. Left field line. Damon Buford over. Foul territory and runs out of room. DiPoto got his first National League save against the Giants on September 3rd. He went 2 2/3 innings in that ball game. Gary, of course, mostly used in middle relief, so that's the only save he's picked up. If he can get Morandini or some other Philly here with an 8-2 lead, he'll have his second save in the National League. 4th time, the 2-2. Morandini's not ready to go home.
One of the things about choking up in the bat, it gives you much better bat control. You get the bat in the ball. And one of the best hitters in the major leagues chokes up in that bat, and that's Barry Bonds. And he is a power hitter. You just don't see it anymore in the major leagues.
2-2 again. Give Morandini credit here. I'm not going to give up this at-bat.
One of the greatest hitters in the history of the game of baseball, Ted Williams, with 2 strikes, always choked up in the bat. As a matter of fact, in the Hall of Fame, they have a wooden statue of Ted Williams, a replica of Ted in his prime as a baseball player for the Boston Red Sox. And he is choked up on the bat with that statue.
That's something. Again, Morandini, right center field. Brian Thompson. The New York Mets have swept the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, what a homestand They've now won 5 games in a row. Rico Brogna, a career-high 5 RBIs as he picked up his first career grand slam today, along with another solo shot. Jerry DiPoto comes on and finishes the game up and gets his second National League save. And there you see the National League East right now, with the Mets trailing the Expos by just a half game. Montreal batting in the bottom of the 8th inning at home. Houston leads Montreal 4-3. And Philadelphia, having lost all 3 here, suddenly within reaching distance of the New York Mets.
It's a nice thing to look at if you're a Mets fan, and certainly it'll help Dallas Green. He has not signed a contract for next year. He is, at this point, looking for another year to go, at least, on his contract. Joe McIlvain, the general manager of the Mets, also has a contract negotiation to go through with the New York Mets. But Dallas Green, with a turnaround in the second half of the season with his ball club, he's got to be a very happy man.
Could you tell by the smile?
I'll say.
All right, we've got more for you from Shea Stadium. Our final here, the Mets win it 8-2. We'll be back after this word from Infinity.